Title: Lost Expeditions. The tragic tale of Franklin's Arctic journey. Opening scene: midnight to 2 o'clock. Slow music, icy winds, vast Arctic landscape. Narrator: calm, serious tone in the frozen expanse of the Canadian Arctic, where the sun barely rises in winter and ice crushes ships like matchsticks, lies one of the greatest mysteries in the annals of exploration. An expedition, celebrated at the time as the pinnacle of British naval ambition, vanished without a trace. Over 129 men, 2 ships, and one haunting question: what happened to Sir John Franklin and his crew on their fateful voyage to discover the Northwest Passage? This is the story of the Franklin expedition, one of history's most chilling tales of courage, disaster, and mystery. Chapter 1: Age of Exploration. 2 to 7 o'clock. Narrator: the 19th century was a golden age for exploration. Europe's empires raced to chart the unknown, seeking wealth, glory, and knowledge. For the British Empire, the ultimate prize was the Northwest Passage, a fabled sea route through the Arctic that promised a shorter path between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Dozens had tried. Most failed. Some died. Yet the allure was too great. By the 1840s, the Royal Navy had grown obsessed with charting and conquering the Arctic. Cut to image. Maps of early expeditions in this climate of ambition and discovery emerged Sir John Franklin, an aging but respected naval officer. Chapter 2: Sir John Franklin, the man and his dream. 7 to 12 o'clock. Narrator: born in 1786 in Spilsby, England, John Franklin joined the Royal Navy at just 14. He fought in major battles, including Trafalgar, and earned a reputation as a steadfast leader. But what truly defined Franklin was his obsession with Arctic exploration. He had already undertaken 2 overland Arctic expeditions, one ending in starvation and near death. Still, he returned to the icy unknown, determined to leave his mark. By 1845, Franklin, then 59, was chosen to lead what would become his final voyage, a mission to complete the last uncharted section of the Northwest Passage. 2 ships were assigned: HMS Erebus and HMS Terror, both state-of-the-art vessels, refitted with reinforced hulls and steam engines. Cut to visuals, schematics, and artistic renderings of the ships. With 129 officers and men, years' worth of supplies, and the best technology Victorian England could offer, the expedition set sail with high hopes and national pride. Chapter 3: The expedition begins. 12 to 1800 hours. Narrator: on May 19, 1845, the Erebus and Terror departed from Greenhithe, England. They made a stop in Greenland, where they sent their last letters home and took on supplies. It was here, in late July, that whalers spotted the expedition for the last time. From there, the ships vanished into the ice-choked waters of Baffin Bay. For 2 years, no word came. At first, the British Admiralty was confident. The men had ample provisions. They were prepared for Arctic conditions. Chapter 6: John Ray's controversial report. 32:00, 38:00. Narrator: one of the most significant and disturbing revelations came from Scottish explorer John Ray. In 1854, Ray spoke with Inuit near Pelly Bay. They told him they had seen white men, starving, weak, and dying. Some even resorted to cannibalism. Ray's report to the British government shocked the nation. The idea that British sailors, heroes, had eaten human flesh was too much to bear. Charles Dickens and others launched vicious attacks against Ray, calling him a liar. Lady Franklin was particularly incensed. She refused to believe such horror could befall her husband and his men. But the Inuit testimonies, repeated and consistent, would later prove accurate. Chapter 7: Scientific Discoveries and Forensics. 38:00, 45:00. Narrator: In the 1980s and 1990s, Canadian researchers launched new investigations. They exhumed the frozen bodies of the three men buried on Beechey Island. What they found was astonishing. The corpses were perfectly preserved. Autopsies showed they died of pneumonia, tuberculosis, and possibly lead poisoning, likely from poorly sealed tinned food. Lead levels were extremely high across all three bodies. This could have caused confusion, weakness, and poor judgment among the crew. Meanwhile, archaeological digs on King William Island uncovered hundreds of human bones, many bearing cut marks consistent with cannibalism. The Inuit accounts have been right all along. Chapter 8. Discovering the ships, 45:00, 52:00. Narrator. Despite all this, one mystery remained unsolved. The ships. Where were the Erebus and Terror? For over a century and a half, they remained lost beneath Arctic waters. These discoveries were monumental. Underwater footage revealed that many artifacts remained intact, dishes still stacked, maps preserved, and even boots left behind. The mystery of the Franklin expedition was finally within reach of being solved. Chapter 9. Inuit Knowledge Vindicated, 52:00, 58:00. Narrator. Perhaps the most remarkable part of the Franklin story is the role of Inuit oral history. For over 150 years, Inuit accounts had described seeing the ships, the sick men, and even the location of the wrecks. Western scholars often dismissed these stories as folklore, but the shipwrecks were found exactly where the Inuits said they would be. This moment was not just a victory for archaeology, it was a recognition of indigenous knowledge long overlooked and undervalued.